At my wedding, the officiant said, "Speak now or forever hold your peace." A woman stood. "I have something." Everyone gasped. She walked forward and handed me an envelope. "Read this." Inside was proof of my bride's affair. I looked at her. "Care to explain?" Her stammering, "I can explain." Got my response, "Don't bother." The ceremony that became a breakup when I, 32 male, am writing this from what should have been my honeymoon suite. Instead, I'm alone with a bottle of bourbon and a story that sounds like bad reality TV. 3 days ago was supposed to be my wedding day. I'd been with my fiancée, 29, for 2 years. Met her at a charity event, fell hard, proposed on a beach at sunset, the whole romantic deal. Dropped $35K on this wedding. Her parents contributed nothing, said they were financially tight, which I understood. The ceremony was beautiful. Garden venue, 150 guests, string quartet playing. I was standing at the altar watching her walk down the aisle in this gorgeous dress, genuinely thinking I was the luckiest guy alive. Then the doors at the back burst open. A guy, early 30s, stormed in with an older woman. The music stopped. Everyone turned around. The officiant, clearly flustered, goes, "Excuse me, this is a private ceremony. You need to..." The guy shouts, "Stop the ceremony." Dead silence. You could hear people's phones hitting the floor as they scrambled to record. Officiant, "What's the meaning of this?" The guy breathing hard. "The bride has another husband, me." My fiancé went completely white, like I watched the color drain from her face in real time. Her, "That's a lie. I don't even know him." But her voice was shaking, and she wouldn't look at me. The woman with him, turned out to be his mother, pulled out a folder, started waving papers around. Marriage certificate, dated 3 years ago, photos from their wedding. She's been married to my son this whole time. The mother walked right up to the front and handed me the documents. I'm standing there in my tux, boutonniere and everything, reading a marriage certificate with my fiancé's signature on it. Dated July 2022. Photos of her in a different wedding dress, kissing this dude. I looked at her. Just looked. Me. "Is this real?" She started crying. "I can explain. It's not what it looks like." Me. "It looks like you're already married." Her. "We were separated, getting divorced. I thought it was finalized." The husband. "We're not separated. I've been looking for you for 6 months. You drained our savings and disappeared." Oh, it gets better. Turns out she'd moved across the country, changed her phone number, and apparently thought she could just start over while still legally married. I handed the papers to the officiant. Me. "Well, this wedding's over." Then I turned to the crowd. "Sorry, everyone. Open bars still available until 6 p.m. Enjoy the reception without the ceremony." And I walked out. The chaos when police arrived was something else. Her family tried to stop me from leaving. Her mother actually grabbed my arm, screaming about how I was humiliating her daughter. The venue manager called the cops when things got heated. I gave my statement to the officers, showed them the marriage certificate. They took her and the husband aside to sort it out. I heard something about potential bigamy charges. Spent my wedding night in a hotel room alone, watching the $35K I'd spent circle the drain. Update 1, posted 5 days later. The aftermath has been absolutely insane. First, the venue. I tried to get a refund since, no wedding happened. The contract was in both our names, so they wanted both signatures for any refund. My now-not-wife refused to sign anything. The venue manager, bless her, felt terrible about the whole situation. She offered to refund the remaining balance after their costs, $8,200, without both signatures, but needed legal documentation proving the wedding didn't happen. Easy enough. Got a letter from the officiant stating no marriage license was signed. The catering company? Different story. They fulfilled their contract. Food was served at the reception, so that $12K was gone. The photographer actually offered to give me all the ceremony interruption photos for free since they were newsworthy. Gee, thanks. But here's where the entitlement really started showing. 2 days after the non-wedding, my ex-fiance's mother called me. Not to apologize, to demand I pay for the dress alterations and her daughter's portion of wedding expenses. Her mother. She spent $200 on that dress. You can't just walk away from that. Me. She committed fraud. She tried to marry me while already married to someone else. Her mother. That's just a technicality. You humiliated her in front of everyone. Me. A technicality? It's called bigamy. It's a felony. Her mother. You're being dramatic. Lots of people forget they're married. I actually had to pause and process that sentence. Me. Nobody forgets they're married. Her mother. Well, you clearly weren't right for her anyway. You didn't even notice the signs. The mental gymnastics were Olympic level. Then my ex-fiancée herself started texting from a new number. I'd blocked the old one. We need to talk about splitting the wedding costs fairly. You can't just abandon me with all this debt. My credit is ruined because of you, because of me, the guy she tried to commit bigamy against. I replied once, talk to your husband about your financial problems. Also get a lawyer. You're going to need one. Her response, how can you be so cold? I made one mistake. One mistake, like she accidentally picked the wrong appetizer option. Meanwhile, the actual husband contacted me through a mutual friend. Wanted to clear the air and explain his side. Apparently, they'd been married 4 years, not 3. She'd drained their joint savings, $43K, and vanished while he was on a business trip. He'd been tracking her through credit card charges and finally found her through our wedding registry. He apologized to me. The guy whose wife committed bigamy apologized to me for ruining my wedding. Him. I know this looks bad, but she told me she wanted a divorce last year, then just disappeared. I never signed papers. I've been trying to serve her for months. Honestly, I felt bad for him too. We were both victims of the same con artist. The wedding gifts started being an issue. People wanted them back since no wedding happened. Fair enough. But my ex-fiance's family was demanding we split the returned gifts' value. Her sister called me, you got to keep the KitchenAid mixer from Aunt Helen. That's worth $400. You owe us $200. Me. I'm returning it to Aunt Helen. I'm returning everything. Her sister. That's petty. You're punishing our whole family. Me. Your sister tried to commit a felony against me, but I'm the petty one. Her sister. Stop saying that word. It makes her sound like a criminal. Me. Because she is one. The delusion ran deep in that family. Then came the bills. The florist wanted final payment, $2,100. The DJ wanted his balance, $800. Both were calling me because I was listed as primary contact. I forwarded every bill to my ex-fiancée with a simple message, "You're fraud, your bills." She responded, "You're the man. You're supposed to handle this. What will people think?" What will people think? The woman who tried to marry 2 men simultaneously was worried about appearances. I started consulting with a lawyer about recovering my costs. He was not optimistic. Lawyer. Technically, she didn't steal from you. You voluntarily paid for wedding expenses. Me. Based on fraudulent pretenses, she lied about being single. Lawyer. True, but proving financial damages in civil court is tricky. Your best bet is hoping criminal charges stick and pursuing restitution through that. Great. So I'm out 35K and the legal system might shrug. Oh, and the best part? My ex-fiancé posted on social media about surviving betrayal and toxic relationships. Several mutual friends who didn't know the full story messaged me asking what I did to her. I posted one thing. For those asking, my wedding was interrupted when her legal husband appeared with a marriage certificate. I was unaware she was already married. That's all I'll say publicly. The comments section exploded. Her narrative crumbled in real time. Update 2, posted 3 weeks later. Things escalated in ways I didn't think possible. First, the criminal case. The DA filed bigamy charges. It's a felony where we live, carrying up to 5 years in prison. My ex-fiancé lawyered up immediately, using money she apparently still had access to despite claiming poverty. Her defense strategy? Claimed she genuinely believed she was divorced. Her lawyer argued she'd filed papers, she hadn't, and thought the marriage was dissolved. It wasn't. The prosecutor showed me the evidence they were building. Turns out she'd been living a double life, rented an apartment under a slightly different name, had a separate email account, even told people different stories about her past. The husband and I both gave statements. He provided bank records showing she drained their accounts. I provided texts where she lied about her past, claiming she'd never been married before. But the entitlement from her family kept coming. Her father showed up at my apartment one evening. I didn't let him in, talked through the door. Her father, "You need to drop the charges. This is destroying our family." Me, "I didn't file charges. The state did." Her father, "You can ask them to drop it. Tell them you don't want to press charges." Me, "That's not how felony prosecution works. Even if I wanted to help her, which I don't, I can't stop this." Her father, "So you're just going to let her go to prison? What about mercy? Forgiveness?" Me, "She tried to commit bigamy. Consequences exist." Her father, "You're ruining her life over a mistake." Everyone in her family kept using that word, mistake, like she'd accidentally used salt instead of sugar in a recipe. Then came the civil lawsuit. My ex-fiancé sued me for emotional distress caused by the wedding interruption. The audacity was breathtaking. Her claim, I should have handled it privately instead of allowing her to be publicly humiliated. She wanted $50K in damages. My lawyer was genuinely shocked. Lawyer, "She's suing you, the victim? I've never seen anything like this." The lawsuit claimed I was negligent in not preventing her husband from entering the venue, that I intentionally caused emotional harm by announcing the wedding was over in front of everyone. We filed a motion to dismiss, included every piece of evidence showing her fraud. The judge threw out her lawsuit in about 15 minutes, called it frivolous and an abuse of the legal system. But she wasn't done. She started contacting my family, called my mother crying, saying I'd abandoned her in her darkest hour and was vindictive. My mom, who's usually super empathetic, shut her down hard. My mom, "You tried to marry my son while married to someone else. Stay away from him and this family." My ex, "But I love him. It was all a misunderstanding." My mom, "You committed a crime against him. Goodbye." The blocked her number and warned me she seemed unstable. Then the wedding vendors started getting contacted. She called the venue claiming I'd stolen her deposit and demanding they charge me double. The venue manager called me laughing about it but also concerned. Manager, "She's making threats about reviews and lawsuits. Just wanted you to know." I forwarded that to my lawyer, potential witness tampering. Her sister tried a different approach, guilt. Sent me a long email about how their family was falling apart and their mother was having health issues from the stress. And couldn't I find it in my heart to help them through this? I didn't respond. The financial damages kept adding up. I'd gotten maybe $9,000 back total from various vendors. The rest was gone. I consulted with another lawyer about suing her civilly for fraud. Second lawyer: you can sue, you might even win, but collecting is another story. If she goes to prison, she won't have income. If she doesn't, she'll probably claim poverty. Judgments are only useful if the person can pay. Fantastic. But then something unexpected happened. The husband reached out again. Him: I know this is weird, but I'm suing her for the stolen money. My lawyer thinks you might have a stronger case if we coordinate our civil suits. Show a pattern of financial fraud. We met for coffee, compared notes. Turned out there were probably other victims too. She'd borrowed money from friends under false pretenses, run up credit cards, even scammed a former roommate. We compiled everything and gave it to both our lawyers. The prosecutor loved it. Pattern of behavior. Not a mistake, but calculated fraud. My ex-fiance's lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal. She'd plead to a lesser charge, avoid prison, pay restitution. The DA offered her a deal: plead guilty to fraud-related charges, not bigamy, 3 years probation, mandatory restitution to me and her husband, community service. She rejected it, decided to take her chances at trial. Her family started a whisper campaign, telling mutual friends I was bitter and punishing her for breaking up with me, that I couldn't handle rejection, so I manufactured charges. Several friends confronted me about it. I showed them the marriage certificate, the photos, the timeline. Most believed me. A few still thought I should let it go and move on. One guy actually said, "Yeah, she messed up, but do you really want to send her to prison? That's harsh, bro." Me: she committed fraud against me and theft against her husband. Actions have consequences. Him: but couldn't you just forgive her? These people lived in a different reality. Update 3, final, posted 2 months later. The trial lasted 3 days. I was there for all of it. The prosecution laid out everything: the marriage certificate, bank records showing she drained her husband's accounts, texts where she lied to me about her past, evidence she'd been using 2 identities. Her defense was pathetic. Her lawyer argued she was confused and overwhelmed and made poor choices during a difficult time. The prosecutor asked her directly, "Did you know you were still married when you tried to marry the plaintiff?" Her: I thought it was finalized. Prosecutor: Did you ever file divorce papers? Her: No, but I meant to. Prosecutor: Did you tell the plaintiff you were married? Her: No, because I was going to get divorced. Prosecutor: But you didn't, and you accepted an engagement ring, planned a wedding, and stood at an altar knowing you were already married? Her, crying: It wasn't supposed to happen like this. The jury deliberated for 4 hours, found her guilty on multiple counts: fraud, theft for the husband's money, and attempted bigamy. Sentencing was last week. She got 2 years in prison, eligible for parole after 1, 5 years probation after release, and court-ordered restitution. She owes her husband $43,000 plus interest. She owes me $26,000 for documented wedding expenses. The judge said I should have been more careful with the other $9,000. Thanks, I guess. Her family was sobbing in the courtroom. Her mother shouted at me, "Are you happy now? You destroyed her life." The judge actually intervened. "Ma'am, your daughter destroyed her own life through her choices. The victim here showed remarkable restraint." Outside the courthouse, her father tried to confront me. My lawyer stepped between us. Her father: "I hope you can live with yourself. Sending a young woman to prison." My lawyer: Your daughter committed multiple felonies. Move along before we add harassment to the list. The husband and I grabbed coffee after. Weird bonding experience. Him. Think she'll actually pay the restitution? Me. Not a chance, but at least it's on record. Him. Yeah, at least there's that. We stayed in touch, actually. He's a decent guy who got screwed over, same as me. We joke about starting a support group for victims of the same con artist. The financial reality is I'm still out about $18,000 total after the partial refunds. The restitution order is basically worthless. She'll be in prison for a year, then probably work minimum wage jobs. I'll see maybe 100 a month if I'm lucky. But honestly, I'm okay with it. Not the money loss. That hurts. But the validation that I wasn't crazy, wasn't overreacting, wasn't the villain in her twisted narrative. My family's been incredible. My friends, the real ones, threw me a dodged-a-bullet party. My brother made a cake that said, "Congratulations on not committing bigamy. I'm back to dating apps. Being very, very careful. First date conversation now includes, so, just to confirm, you're not currently married to anyone else, right?" Most women laugh. One unmatched me immediately, which was probably a red flag anyway. Therapy's helping. Turns out getting almost bigamied messes with your head. Who knew? The venue manager reached out and offered me a discount if I ever want to book again. I appreciated the gesture but told her I'm good on weddings for a while. My ex-fiance's family still occasionally tries to contact me through various means. Her sister sent a Facebook message last week asking if I'd write a letter to the parole board when the time comes. I deleted it without responding. One mutual friend asked if I felt guilty about her going to prison. Honest answer? No. She made calculated choices, stole from her husband, lied to me, tried to commit a felony, then sued me when caught. Even after conviction, she showed zero remorse in court, just self-pity about how unfair everything was. Some people never learn, never take accountability, just keep playing victim while victimizing others. I learned a valuable lesson. Trust your gut, verify big claims, and don't ignore red flags just because you're in love. Also learned that $35,000 is an expensive lesson in human nature. But hey, at least I'm not married to someone who's married to someone else. Could be worse. The husband and I are planning to watch the Super Bowl together next month. Weirdest friendship origin story ever. But life's strange sometimes. To everyone who supported me through this, thanks. To everyone who said I was too harsh or unforgiving, she's in prison for committing crimes, not for hurting my feelings. There's a difference. Moving forward. Slowly, but forward. And yeah, I kept the bourbon from what would have been my honeymoon suite. It's pretty good bourbon.
My fiancé posted, making him take a polygraph test before the wedding. If he loves me, he has nothing to hide. I commented, great idea, you first. Then I actually scheduled 2 tests and sent her the appointment. When the examiner asked her the questions I'd submitted about her fidelity, I, 33 male, was scrolling through Instagram last Tuesday when my fiancée Bethany's 29 post showed up on my feed. Big bold text over a photo of us from last month. Making my man take a polygraph test before our wedding. If he really loves me and has nothing to hide, he should have no problem proving it. Trust but verify, ladies. Smart bride, no secrets, pre-wedding test. I stared at my phone for a solid minute. We'd been engaged for 8 months, together for 3 years total. Wedding was in 4 months. Deposits paid, venue booked, invitations ordered, and she's posting this? She was at her friend Krista's apartment for their weekly wine night. I screenshot the post and texted her. We need to talk about this when you get home. She replied immediately. About what? The test? Babe, it's just smart. My cousin did it with her husband and it gave them peace of mind. You didn't ask me. You just announced it publicly. Because I knew you'd overthink it. If you have nothing to hide, what's the problem? I put my phone down. Thought about it. She wanted a polygraph test? Fine. Great idea, I typed back. You first. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then, what? If we're doing this, we both take one. You want transparency? Let's be transparent. That's ridiculous. I'm not the one who needs to prove anything. Why not? If you have nothing to hide, what's the problem? No response for 20 minutes. Then, we'll talk when I get home. She came home around 11 p.m., already defensive. I can't believe you're making this about me. You made it public without asking me, I said calmly. If we're doing polygraph tests, we're both doing them. Equal transparency. That's not fair. I'm the one who suggested it. And I'm agreeing, with the condition that you go first, prove you have nothing to hide. Her face went red. This is typical controlling behavior, Travis. I'm trying to protect our marriage, and you're turning it into some power play. I'm not controlling anything. I'm matching your energy. You want tests? We'll both take them. I don't need to take one. Why not? Because I'm not the one with trust issues. I don't have trust issues. You apparently do, since you want me to take a polygraph. So let's both take them and clear the air completely. She sputtered for a minute, then grabbed her purse. I'm staying at Krista's tonight. Maybe you'll be more reasonable in the morning. After she left, I did something petty. I commented on her public post. Great idea, babe. Just scheduled appointments for both of us. You're going first, though. Lead by example. Then I actually did it. Found a licensed polygraph examiner. Booked 2 appointments 3 days apart. Cost me $800 for both tests. Sent Bethany the confirmation email with her appointment details. Her test was scheduled for Saturday at 2 p.m. Mine for Tuesday at 2 p.m. Update 1. Bethany lost her mind when she got the confirmation email. Called me at work Thursday morning, absolutely screaming. You can't just schedule something like this without asking me. You literally announced you were making me take one without asking me. I'm just following through on your idea. This is insane. I'm not taking a polygraph test. Why not? You have nothing to hide, right? That's not the point. That's exactly the point. You wanted to test my honesty. Let's test yours too. I'm canceling it. Can't. Non-refundable deposit. Plus, if you cancel, I'm canceling mine. And then I'm commenting on your very public post explaining that you refuse to take the same test you demanded I take. Silence. Then, you're being a jerk. I'm being fair. Saturday at 2 p.m. The examiner's office is downtown. I'll drive us. She hung up on me. That evening, her mom called. Diane. This woman already didn't like me much, thought I wasn't ambitious enough for her daughter. Travis, Bethany is very upset. I know. She doesn't want to take the polygraph test she publicly demanded we do. Well, she didn't mean she had to take one. She was talking about you. Right, but if we're testing for honesty and fidelity, seems like we should both do it, for the marriage. That's ridiculous. She's been nothing but faithful to you. You on the other hand. Me on the other hand, what? Pause. Well, I don't know what you've been up to. Exactly. You don't know, so let's test both of us and remove all doubt. She huffed and hung up. Saturday came. Bethany barely spoke to me all morning, tried to claim she was sick. I told her we could reschedule, but I'd still cancel mine and post the reason publicly. We drove to the examiner's office in silence. The examiner, a guy named Paul, was probably in his 50s. Retired law enforcement, did corporate and private polygraphs. Very professional. He explained the process, the questions, how it worked. I'd submitted questions in advance. Standard stuff for relationships. Have you been sexually intimate with anyone else during our relationship? Have you had romantic feelings for someone else during our relationship? Have you lied to me about where you were or who you were with? Have you hidden any major financial debts or secrets from me? Is there anything you're currently hiding that could affect our marriage? Bethany went into the testing room. I waited outside. The test took about 2 hours with all the setup and questions. When they finished, Paul called me into his office. Bethany was in the waiting room, looking pale. Mr. Travis, I need to be direct with you. Your fiancé showed significant deceptive responses to multiple questions. My stomach dropped. Which ones? He showed me the printouts. The first question, about sexual intimacy with others, clear deception indicators. The question about lying about whereabouts, deception. The one about hiding things, major deception. What does this mean? It means she wasn't truthful in her responses to those questions. Now, polygraphs aren't 100% accurate, but these are pretty clear patterns. I'd recommend you have a serious conversation with her. I paid the balance. Walked out to the waiting room. Bethany was crying. "Let's go home," I said quietly. In the car, she started before I could. "The test is wrong. Those things aren't reliable." I told the truth, and it still said I was lying. "Bethany, what? Just tell me, please." She was quiet for a long time. Then it was just twice, and it was before we got engaged. Everything went cold. What was twice? There's this guy at my office, Cole. There were 2 times, but it was before you proposed. It doesn't count. When before I proposed? Like a month before. I'd proposed 3 years and 1 month ago. A month before that, we'd been talking about moving in together, planning our future, and you've been working with him this whole time. It didn't mean anything. It was just physical. I chose you, Travis. I said yes to you. After sleeping with him. It was a mistake. Twice. I'm sorry, but you can't be mad. You made me take that stupid test. This is your fault for pushing it. I almost laughed. Almost. You demanded I take a polygraph test to prove I was faithful, and you've been hiding that you cheated on me. It was 3 years ago. You lied about where you were, multiple times apparently, since the test caught that too. What else did you lie about? She wiped her eyes. Nothing. The test says otherwise. We got home. I went straight to my computer and started looking up wedding cancellation policies. She followed me into the office. "What are you doing?" "Seeing what we lose if we cancel the wedding." "You're not seriously breaking up with me over something that happened 3 years ago that I didn't even have to tell you about?" "You had to tell me because you failed a polygraph test that you demanded." "I demanded you take one. Because you were projecting. You cheated, so you assumed I did too." I just wanted to be sure. Sure that I was as dishonest as you? Well, good news. I'm not, which we'll never know for certain because I'm canceling my test. You have to take it now. Why? You failed yours. The wedding's off. There's no point. She started hyperventilating. You can't do this. Everything's planned. People are coming from out of town, the venue, the dress, You should have thought about that before you cheated on me and lied about it for 3 years. I'm calling my mother. Go ahead. Update 2. Diane showed up within the hour. Tula brought Bethany's sister, Michelle, for backup. The 3 of them staged an intervention in my own living room. "Travis, you're being unreasonable," Diane started. "How am I being unreasonable? Bethany made one mistake years ago. You're gonna throw away your entire relationship over that? She cheated on me twice with a coworker, then lied about it for 3 years, then demanded I prove my faithfulness. Yeah, I'm throwing it away." Michelle jumped in. "Men cheat all the time and women forgive them. You can't even forgive one mistake?" 2 mistakes. 2 different times she chose to sleep with someone else, and I'm not obligated to forgive anything. "She chose you," Diane said. "She said yes to your proposal. That means something. It means she settled, or Cole wasn't interested in anything serious." Bethany burst into fresh tears. "That's not true. I love you. I want to marry you. You loved me 3 years ago too. Didn't stop you then. We weren't engaged then. So marriage is the only thing that would have stopped you? That's not reassuring, Bethany." Diane stood up. "Fine. You want to be stubborn? Cancel the wedding, but you're paying for half the losses. She didn't do anything to deserve being financially punished. Actually, check the contracts. My name is on the venue, the catering, the photographer. I booked them. I put down the deposits from my accounts." Her face went red. "You can't be serious." "Deadly. I'm canceling everything tomorrow. You'll get whatever refunds are available, but most of those deposits are non-refundable at this point. That's thousands of dollars. Should have thought of that before demanding a polygraph test that exposed your own cheating." Michelle got in my face. "You're a petty, cruel man. My sister deserves better." "Then she can go find him. Maybe Cole's available." Bethany screamed at that and threw a decorative candle at me. Missed. It shattered against the wall. "All of you need to leave," I said calmly. "Now." "This is her home too." "No, it's not. Lisa's in my name. She moved in with me." "Bethany, you have until next weekend to get your stuff out. You can't kick me out." "I can and I am. Be out by next Sunday or your stuff goes to storage and you can pay the fees. They left, but not before Diane told me I'd regret this decision for the rest of my life. Monday morning I started making calls. The venue was the biggest loss, $8,500 non-refundable. Caterer was $3,200 gone. Photographer gave me back half, $1,100. The DJ refunded everything except $200. Total loss about $13,000. Bethany's dress had been $2,800. That was on her credit card, her problem. The bridesmaid dresses were already paid for by her bridesmaids. My tux rental was $150. No loss there since I just canceled. All told, I was out $13,000. Hurt, but better than a divorce later. But then things got messy. Bethany's Instagram post from the beginning, she updated it. Update. Turns out my ex-fiancé couldn't handle being held accountable. Canceled our wedding because I asked him to be honest. Bullet dodged. No mention of her test. No mention of why things really ended. Her comments section filled up with support. You're better off. Men are trash. He wasn't worthy of you. One of my cousins saw it and called me. Dude, what happened? I told her the truth. She asked if she could share it. I said yes, but to be tactful. Within a day, the real story was circulating. My cousin didn't name names, just said guy's fiancé demanded he take a polygraph test, insisted she take one first. She failed, admitted to cheating. Now she's playing victim online. The story got back to Bethany. She called me, furious. You told people I cheated? You're playing victim online. I'm just correcting the record. That's private. Your post wasn't private. You made this public when you posted about the tests in the first place. Take it down. Can't take down what other people are saying. Maybe update your post with the full truth. She hung up on me. 2 days later, I got a call from Cole, the coworker. Travis? Hey man, this is Cole. I work with Bethany. I know who you are. Right. Listen, I heard about what happened. The wedding and stuff. I just wanted to say, I didn't know you guys were that serious when it happened. She told me you were casual. We'd been together 2 years when you slept with her. Yeah, I know that now. She lied to me too, man. Told me you guys were on a break or something. I wouldn't have, I'm not that guy. You slept with her twice. The second time she said you guys broke up. Look, I just wanted to apologize. I feel like crap about it. Does your girlfriend know? I'd seen his Instagram. He'd been with someone for 2 years now. Long pause. No. Might want to get ahead of that. Bethany's not exactly keeping quiet about anything. He hung up shortly after. I felt a little bad about that comment. But only a little. Final update. It's been 6 weeks since I canceled the wedding. Here's how everything shook out. The first week, Bethany moved out. Her dad came with a truck, and her brother. They didn't speak to me. Just loaded up her stuff and left. She tried to take the coffee table I'd bought before we met. I stopped that. She cried about it. Didn't care. Found out later she'd moved back in with her parents. Diane's apparently making her life miserable, asking why she couldn't just keep her mouth shut about the whole thing. The second week, some of Bethany's friends started reaching out to me. Not to yell, to apologize. Turned out Bethany had been telling them for months that I was probably cheating and acting suspicious. She'd been building a narrative to justify the polygraph test demand. One friend, Ashley, told me Bethany had been weird about Cole for years. She'd mention him constantly. We thought it was just because they worked together, but now it makes sense. Asked Ashley if she thought it was really only twice. She went quiet. I don't know, but Bethany went on a lot of work happy hours over the years. That messed with me for a few days, wondering how much more there was that the polygraph didn't catch. But then I realized, doesn't matter. Whatever the truth was, she'd lied about enough. Third week, I got a message from Cole's girlfriend. Apparently Bethany had reached out to her to clear her conscience about sleeping with Cole years ago, but in doing so, she'd mentioned Cole had been texting her recently to check in. Cole's girlfriend dumped him. Then she thanked me for the warning I'd given him because it made her press him about his history with Bethany, which led to finding recent texts. So Cole lost his relationship too. Can't say I felt bad about it. Week 4, I got a lawyer's letter. Bethany was threatening to sue me for emotional distress and damage to her reputation. Wanted $25,000. My lawyer sent back a beautiful response. Basically, Your client demanded a polygraph test, failed it, admitted to infidelity, and has since posted misleading information online. Countersuit for defamation being prepared if this proceeds. Never heard back about the lawsuit. Bethany's Instagram went private after that. Heard through mutual friends she deleted the original polygraph post and most references to me. Too little, too late. Week 5, my brother's wife mentioned running into Bethany at Target. Bethany apparently tried to play victim. Travis broke my heart over nothing, until my sister-in-law just said, "He dodged a bullet. You cheated on him." Bethany left her cart and walked out of the store. The invitations to our wedding had already gone out. I sent a mass text to everyone. Wedding canceled. Relationship ended. No gifts necessary. No explanation needed. Sorry for any travel plans already made. Got a lot of supportive responses. A few people asked what happened. I kept it vague. We discovered we weren't compatible after all. Most people heard the real story anyway. Small networks talk. Now 6 weeks out, I'm doing okay. Not great. The betrayal still stings. The lying stings worse. The projection, demanding I prove something she was guilty of, that stings most of all. But I'm glad I called her bluff, glad I insisted she take the test first, because if she'd never posted that Instagram nonsense, I might have married her without ever knowing. The $13,000 loss hurts, but it's cheaper than a divorce, and way cheaper than a lifetime with someone who lies that easily. Bethany's apparently seeing a therapist now. Good for her. Hope she figures out whatever made her think that Instagram stunt was a good idea. As for me, taking a long break from relationships, maybe forever, who knows? Trust isn't coming easy these days. But at least I'm not planning a wedding to someone who'd cheat on me and then demand I prove I hadn't cheated on her. The irony still makes me laugh sometimes, in a bitter, this is my life now kind of way. Someone asked if I regret pushing for her to take the test first. Absolutely not. Best $400 I ever spent. Saved me from years of wondering, of half-truths, of finding out 5 years and 2 kids in that my wife had been lying since before we got engaged. The polygraph test was her idea. I just made sure it actually served its purpose, revealing the truth. She wanted transparency. She got it, just not the way she expected. My fiancé said at couples counseling, he's boring. I only proposed to him because I'm 34 and running out of time in front of the therapist. I stayed silent and let her keep talking. When the therapist asked me for my response, I simply said, I'd like to end this session and this engagement. I, 31 male, got engaged 6 months ago. 2 years together, living separately but spending most nights at my place. Things were good. Or so I thought. Last month she started getting weird. Critical about random stuff. Why don't I have career goals? Why do I spend Sundays watching football with my brother? Why don't we go to more exciting restaurants? I'm an accountant making $85,000. Not rich, not poor, stable. Thought that was a good thing. She suggested couples counseling. Preventative maintenance, she called it. Let's work on communication before the wedding. Sure. Weird timing, but okay. I'm not too proud to try. Booked Dr. Reynolds, some therapist her best friend raved about. $200 a session, but whatever. Walk into this office, leather couches, tissue boxes everywhere. Dr. Reynolds is mid-50s, kind face, notepad ready. We sit down. So what brings you both in today? My fiancé doesn't even hesitate. Just launches in. I love him, she starts. Already don't like the tone. But I need to be honest. He's so boring. I blink. Dr. Hat. Reynolds nods like this is normal. Can you tell me more about that? Like, his whole life is work, sports, video games with his brother. That's it. Every weekend, same thing. He's been an accountant at the same firm for 5 years. No ambition to move up, no interest in travel, nothing exciting. I'm sitting there, silent, let her cook. Dr. Reynolds glances at me. I give a small nod like, go ahead, I want to hear this too. My fiancé keeps going. And honestly, I need to just say it. I proposed to him because I'm 34 and running out of time. The room gets real quiet. My eggs aren't getting any younger. All my friends are married with babies. I scroll through Instagram and it's just pregnancy announcements and gender reveals. I can't wait forever for some perfect, exciting guy to show up. He's stable, makes decent money, won't cheat on me. At this age, that's what matters, right? Dr. Reynolds writes something down. Looks at her. So you feel like you settled? I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, I'm not getting any younger. My mom keeps asking when I'm giving her grandkids. He's nice, he's reliable, that's enough. Is it though? My fiancé sighs. Dramatically. Sometimes I look at him on the couch watching the game and I think, is this my whole life? Is this really it? But what choice do I have? I'm 34. I don't have time to start over and find someone better. The wedding's already planned. We have a venue, a photographer, my dress is ordered. What am I supposed to do? Cancel everything and be single at 35. Dr. Reynolds finally looks at me. How does hearing this make you feel? I stand up. I'd like to end this session. My fiancé turns. What? And this engagement? Wait, what are you? You just spent 10 minutes telling a stranger that you proposed to me out of desperation, that I'm boring, that you settled because you're afraid of being alone at 35. Why the hell would I marry someone who feels that way? I was being honest. That's what therapy is for. Yeah, and I'm being honest too. We're done. I grab my jacket, head for the door. She's up now, voice getting shrill. You can't just leave. We're in the middle of a session. Session's over, so are we. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You shut down when things get hard. I stop at the door, turn around. I'm not shutting down. I'm listening. You told me exactly how you feel, that I'm a backup plan because your biological clock is ticking, that you're only with me because you don't think you can do better. That's not me shutting down. That's me finally understanding who I'm really engaged to. Dr. Reynolds looks uncomfortable. Perhaps we should all take a breath. No thanks. I'm good. Walk out. Get in my car, drive home, sit on my couch, the boring couch where I watch boring sports. Stare at the wall for maybe 20 minutes. My phone starts buzzing. Her texts are coming in rapid fire. You can't just leave like that. We need to talk. This is so immature. I said I loved you too. You're overreacting. This is why we needed counseling in the first place. I silence my phone. Call my brother. Yo, how'd counseling go? Ended the engagement. What? Tell him everything. Word for word. He's quiet for a second. Then, holy shit, bro. She really said that? Out loud? In front of a therapist who's definitely going to remember this one. Dude, you dodged a nuke. What's the plan? No idea. Just done. Want me to come over? Nah, I'm good. Just need to sit with this. Hang up. Look at my phone. 23 missed calls, 47 texts now. Not tonight, not dealing with this tonight. So here's what you need to know about my apartment. I pay 70% of the rent. She insisted on contributing equally, but her freelance graphic design income is maybe $15,000 a year. I make $85,000. We split bills, but realistically, I cover most of it. She has a key, keeps clothes in my closet, toothbrush in my bathroom, basically lives here 4 nights a week. Around 11 p.m., I hear her key in the lock. I'd been debating whether to open the door, decided against it. She comes in. I'm sitting on the couch. She's got that look. Red eyes from crying, mascara smudged. We need to talk. Nothing to talk about. Yes, there is. You can't just end a 2-year relationship over one comment. It wasn't a comment. It was the truth about how you actually feel. She sits down next to me. I move over. Babe, I was just venting. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. You told the therapist you only proposed because you're 34 and running out of time. That I'm boring. That you settled because your eggs are expiring. Which part didn't you mean? I was emotional. I was trying to be honest about my feelings. Great. Mission accomplished. Now I know how you really feel. That's not fair. Therapy is supposed to be a safe space to express. To express what? That you don't actually want to marry me? That you're just scared of being single at 35? Because that's what you expressed, loud and clear. She starts crying harder. I do want to marry you. I love you. No, you love the idea of being married before your ovaries pack it in. I'm just the guy who happened to be here. That's not true. I stand up. I need you to leave. This is ridiculous. I'm not leaving. We live together. No, we don't. I live here. You sleep here sometimes. There's a difference. And now you don't even do that anymore. Give me your key. What? Your key? Give it to me. No, this is my home too. Actually, it's not. Your name's not on the lease. You don't pay rent. You contribute maybe $300 a month for groceries. This is my apartment. Key. Now. She's looking at me like she doesn't recognize me. You're being so cold right now. This isn't like you. What did you expect? That I'd just pretend you didn't say all that? That I'd marry you anyway and spend the rest of my life wondering if you secretly resent me for being boring? Silence. T. She fumbles with her keyring. Throws the key at me. It bounces off my chest. Fine, fine, you want to throw away everything over nothing? Go ahead, but don't come crying to me when you realize you made a huge mistake. She grabs her purse, storms out, slams the door so hard my neighbor probably felt it. I pick up the key from the floor, put it on the counter. My phone rings. Her mom. Don't answer. She leaves a voicemail. I listen to it the next morning. You need to fix this. My daughter is devastated. I don't know what happened at that appointment, but she's saying you just walked out. That's not how adults handle problems. You call me back and we figure this out. Delete. Morning comes. I call a locksmith. Explain the situation briefly. Ex-girlfriend. Need the locks changed. Say no more. I can be there this afternoon, $180. Perfect. Go to work. Try to focus on spreadsheets. Can't. My phone keeps buzzing. Her best friend now. Answer on the third call. What? What do you mean, what? She's devastated. She told me you ended the engagement over nothing. Over nothing? Is that what she said? She said she was honest in therapy and you freaked out. Did she tell you what she said? That she had some concerns about the relationship. She told the therapist she only proposed to me because she's 34 and panicking about her biological clock. That I'm boring, that she settled because she doesn't think she can find anyone better before she's too old. Those were her concerns. Silence. She didn't tell me that part. Yeah, figures. So no, I didn't freak out over nothing. I ended things after finding out my fiancé doesn't actually want to marry me. She just wants to marry anyone before her eggs expire. I mean, she's under a lot of pressure. Her mom keeps asking about grandkids. All her friends are pregnant. Not my problem anymore. You're really gonna throw away 2 years because she's scared? I'm ending it because she admitted she settled. Big difference. Don't call me again. Hang up. Block the number. Locksmith comes at 2 p.m. New deadbolt, new knob. Hands me 2 keys. There you go. Ex-girlfriend's officially locked out. Music to my ears. That evening, I start packing her stuff. She's got a surprising amount of crap here. Clothes, makeup, books, kitchen gadgets. That expensive KitchenAid mixer she bought and used twice, then I used every weekend for the past year. Pile it all by the door. Text her from my phone, haven't blocked her yet. Figured I need 1 line of communication for logistics. Your stuff is packed. Pick it up this weekend. Saturday between 10 to 12, you and 1 person. No drama. Response comes immediately. I can't believe you're really doing this. Saturday 10 to 12, confirm. Can we please just talk? Nothing to talk about, confirm pickup time. This is so cruel, confirming or not? Fine, Saturday, but this isn't over. It is. See you Saturday. Now I wait. Saturday morning 9:45 a.m. I'm ready. Her stuff is boxed up, piled by the door. I've already decided she's not coming inside beyond the entryway. 10:02 a.m. Knock on the door. Open it. It's her, her mom, and her best friend. Great, an entourage. Hey, she says quietly, eyes all red and puffy. Hey, here's your stuff. I gesture to the boxes. Her mom pushes forward. We need to talk about this. No, we don't. We need to load boxes and leave. You can't just throw away a relationship like this over 1 comment. Not 1 comment. An entire confession about how she settled for me because she's aging out. But sure, let's call it 1 comment. Her best friend jumps in. She was vulnerable and scared. You're supposed to support her, not punish her. Support her settling for me? Hard pass? My ex finally speaks up. Where's the KitchenAid mixer? I point to my kitchen counter where it sits. That's mine. I bought that. With money I gave you for your birthday, and I'm the one who actually uses it. It stays. Her mom's face is turning red. This is petty. You're being petty. Probably, don't care. My ex starts going through boxes, checking things. Then she notices something. Where's the ring? Oh boy, here we go. What ring? Don't play dumb. The engagement ring. Where is it? In my safe. I want it back. I actually laugh. Can't help it. You want the ring back? Yes, it's worth like $4,000. Which I spent on a ring for a woman who loved me. Turns out that woman doesn't exist. So no, you can't have it back. That's theft. Actually, it's not. When an engagement ends because you admitted you settled out of desperation, the person who purchased the ring keeps it. That's how this works. Her best friend is already Googling on her phone. Her face falls. He's technically right. In most states, the ring goes back to the buyer if the engagement is broken. My ex's jaw drops. You can't be serious. That's my ring. Was your ring. Now it's just a $4,200 mistake I made. But hey, at least I found out before the wedding. Her mom is fuming. This is unbelievable. You're stealing from my daughter. Your daughter told a therapist she only wants to marry me because her biological clock is ticking and she's desperate. I think I'm entitled to keep the ring I bought for what I thought was a real relationship. My ex starts crying. Again, I can't believe you're doing this. After everything we've been through. Everything like what? You lying about your feelings? Pretending you actually wanted to marry me when really you just wanted to marry anyone before 35? She doesn't answer. Take your stuff, leave. They load up the boxes. 30 minutes of back and forth to their car. I stand in the doorway the whole time, making sure nobody goes past the entryway. When they're done, my ex turns back one more time. You're going to regret this. When you're 40 and alone, you're going to regret letting me go. I'll take my chances. I could have had anyone. I chose you. Yeah, because you were desperate and running out of time. You said that yourself, not exactly flattering. Her mom grabs her arm. Come on, honey. He's not worth it. They leave. Finally. Close the door. Lock it. With my new locks that her key doesn't fit, my phone buzzes. My brother. How'd it go? About as bad as expected. She wanted the ring back. Please tell me you didn't give it to her. Hell no. Told her it stays with me. That's my boy. Beer later? Yeah. I need a beer. Thought it was over. It wasn't even close to over. Monday morning I'm at work. Get called into HR. My boss is there too, looking confused. The HR director, this woman in her 50s, has a folder in front of her. We received a complaint about you over the weekend. A complaint? Yes. An anonymous complaint claiming you've been harassing a woman, sending threatening messages, and creating a hostile environment. My brain immediately goes there. My ex-fiancée. Excuse me? I ended my engagement last week. She's been blowing up my phone. I haven't contacted her at all except to arrange for her to pick up her belongings from my apartment. My boss speaks up. Wait, this is about a relationship issue? Apparently. The HR director looks skeptical. Can you prove you haven't been contacting her? Pull out my phone. Show them my messages. The only texts to her are about picking up her stuff. Show them my call log. 0 calls to her number. Show them my blocked numbers list. I haven't contacted her. She's the one who won't leave me alone. The HR director makes some notes. Okay, we'll investigate this fully, but based on what I'm seeing, this appears to be a false complaint. If anything else happens, please document it and let us know immediately. Will do. Walk out. My boss follows me. You good? Yeah, just dealing with a crazy ex. Been there. Let me know if you need anything. I'm fuming now. She tried to mess with my job. Because I wouldn't give her back a ring she didn't deserve. That night, I get a text from an unknown number. This is her best friend. You need to give her back that ring. She's planning to take you to small claims court. I screenshot this. Then reply, good luck with that. The ring stays with me. Stop contacting me or I'll file for harassment. You're such an asshole. Block. 2 days later, I actually get a letter in the mail. From a lawyer. Or someone claiming to be a lawyer. The letterhead looks like it was made in Microsoft Word, and there's literally a coffee stain on page 2. The letter demands return of engagement ring, $4,000 value, return of KitchenAid mixer, $350 value, payment for emotional distress, $1,500, payment for counseling costs incurred due to your actions, $300. Total demanded $6,150. I take a photo of this letter and text it to my cousin, who's a paralegal. She calls me laughing. This is the worst demand letter I've ever seen. Where'd she find this lawyer? A cereal box. So I don't need to worry? Hell no. First, the ring is yours. She admitted the engagement ended because she settled out of desperation. You're keeping it. Second, a KitchenAid mixer? They'd have to prove ownership. Third, emotional distress? Over a breakup? No judge is taking that seriously. Fourth, you didn't force her into counseling. This is garbage. What do I do? Ignore it. If they actually file in small claims, call me. But this is just a scare tactic from a lawyer she probably paid $200 to send a threatening letter. Feel better. But also done playing defense. Time to go on offense. Our mutual friends have been asking questions. Her version of events is spreading. He abandoned me during a vulnerable therapy moment. He's cruel and cold. He won't even talk to me. Convenient how she's leaving out the part about settling for me because her eggs are expiring. One of our mutual friends, this guy I've known for 3 years, asks me directly at a weekend barbecue, "Dude, what actually happened?" She's saying you just bailed during counseling for no reason. That's what she said? Yeah, that she was trying to work on the relationship and you just walked out. Want to know what she actually said? Yeah, man. Your side of this. She told the therapist in front of me that she only proposed because she's 34 and running out of time, that I'm boring, that she settled for me because her biological clock is ticking and she doesn't think she can find anyone better before she's too old. Exact words. His eyes go wide. Holy shit, she said that? Word for word. So yeah, I ended it right there. Dude, I don't blame you. That's brutal. Word spreads fast. Within days, the narrative shifts. People who'd been sympathetic to her start backing away. A couple friends reach out apologizing for believing her version without hearing mine. Her best friend sends me a nasty message. You're ruining her reputation. She can't date anyone now because you're telling everyone she's desperate. I'm not telling people she's desperate. I'm telling them what she said in therapy. If that makes her look desperate, she should have thought about that before saying it. She'll never forgive you for this. Good. I don't want her forgiveness. I want her to leave me alone. Block. 3 weeks after the breakup, I'm finally starting to feel normal again. The constant texts have stopped. The calls from her family have stopped. The threatening lawyer letters have stopped. Then my doorbell rings. It's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. Check my phone security camera. It's her. Great. I talk through the camera speaker. What do you want? Please, I just need to talk to you. 5 minutes. No, please, I need closure. You got closure at Dr. Reynolds' office. This isn't fair. You won't even hear me out. I heard you out plenty. You told me exactly how you feel. Nothing left to say. I made a mistake. Can't you understand that? What mistake? Being honest about how you actually feel? That wasn't a mistake. That was the truth. She starts crying. Sitting down on my doorstep. I'm not leaving until you talk to me. Then I'll call the cops for trespassing. You wouldn't dare. I start dialing. She hears it through the speaker. Fine. Fine. You're such an asshole. She leaves. I watch her walk to her car on the camera. She sits there for 10 minutes, then drives away. My neighbor texts me, your ex seems upset. You need anything? Nah, I'm good. Thanks for checking. Let me know if she becomes a problem. Got your back. The next morning, I make a decision. I take the engagement ring to a jewelry store, the same one I bought it from. I'd like to sell this back. The jeweler, this older guy who remembered me from when I bought it, looks sad. I'm sorry it didn't work out. Me too, but not that sorry. He examines it. I can give you $3,400 for it. Deal. Sold. Done. Gone. Take that money and do something I haven't done in years. Book a vacation. Solo. 1 week at the coast. Nice little rental house. Beach access. Quiet. Tell my brother, good for you, man. You deserve it. Yeah, I do. My ex finds out somehow, probably through mutual friends. Sends me a text from yet another new number. You sold my ring? That was mine. You had no right. Wrong number. This is Patrick. Block. Her mom leaves one final voicemail. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed her. She had to cancel the whole wedding. Lost deposits. We spent money on a dress. Everyone thinks she's a joke now. This is all your fault. Delete without listening to the whole thing. Her best friend makes one last attempt. She's really sorry. She wants to try again. She's in therapy now, working on herself. Would you consider couples counseling again? No. We're done. She told me she settled for me. That's not something you come back from. You're heartless. Maybe, but at least I'm not desperate. Block. Final update because people keep asking. It's been about a month and a half since everything exploded. Here's where things landed. I went on that vacation, whole week at the coast. Mornings on the beach, afternoons reading, evenings at local restaurants, trying everything I wanted. Didn't think about her. Didn't think about the wedding. Didn't think about being 31 and single again. Just existed. Came back feeling lighter. Like I'd shed something heavy I didn't know I was carrying. The ring money funded the whole trip with some left over. Bought a new TV with the rest. 65 inches. Beautiful. My ex made one final play about 2 weeks ago. Showed up at a bar where she knew I'd be. Friend's birthday party. She just appeared. Can we talk, please? I looked at her, really looked at her. She'd lost weight, looked tired, stressed. Part of me felt bad. Small part. There's nothing to talk about. I was wrong about everything. I do love you. I do want to marry you, not because of my age, because of you. Nah, what? I said nah. I don't believe you, and even if I did, the damage is done. You told me you settled. That's always going to be in my head now. Every argument, every bad day, I'd wonder if you're thinking, this is what I settled for. I can't live like that. I wouldn't think that. I promise. You already did think that. You said it out loud to a therapist while I was sitting right there. She started crying. Again, always with the crying. So that's it? You're just done? Yeah, I'm done. You should be too. Walked away, went back to my friends, didn't look back. My brother asked later, you good? Yeah, actually, I am. And I meant it. Here's what I realized during that week at the beach. I'm not boring. I'm stable. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like my job. It's not flashy, but it pays well, and I'm good at it. I like my apartment. I like watching football with my brother. I like having a routine. I like knowing what to expect. If someone thinks that's boring, they're not my person. My ex wasn't looking for a partner. She was looking for a solution to a problem. The problem was her age. The solution was any man willing to marry her before 35. I just happened to be convenient. That's not love. That's settling and hid it. The friends who matter stuck around. The ones who didn't weren't really friends anyway. I'm not dating yet. Not interested. Taking time to just be me without worrying about wedding timelines or biological clocks or whether I'm exciting enough. Maybe in 6 months. Maybe in a year. Maybe never. Don't really care right now. My life is good. Quiet. Simple. Boring even. And you know what? I'm totally okay with that. To everyone who said I overreacted, respectfully, you're wrong. If your partner told you they only wanted to marry you because they're running out of time and you're good enough, you'd leave too. Don't lie to yourself. To everyone who said I should have tried to work it out, why? So I could spend the rest of my life wondering if she secretly resents me for being boring? Hard pass. To everyone who supported me, thanks, means more than you know. That's it. That's the end of this story. Ex-fiancé is someone else's problem now. Hope she finds whatever she's looking for. Hope it's not just someone to have kids with before 35. As for me, I'm good. Got my boring job, my boring apartment, my boring life, and honestly, it's pretty great. My fiancé said at dinner, I can't marry a teacher. You'll never make enough money. I made $65. I replied, I understand your concerns. Then I showed her my stock portfolio. $890,000 from investments I'd been building for 12 years. When she realized the poor teacher was wealthier than her executive father, I, 32 male, teach high school history. Make about $65K a year, which isn't amazing, but it's decent and I love what I do. Been teaching for 10 years, love the kids, genuinely enjoy going to work most days. My now ex-fiancée Natalie, 29, worked in marketing, pulled in around $85K or plus bonuses. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 6 months. Wedding was set for early summer. So last week we're at this fancy Italian place she picked. I'm thinking it's just a nice Tuesday dinner. Maybe she wants to talk about wedding stuff. She'd been acting weird lately, but I figured work stress or wedding jitters. We're halfway through our entrees when she goes, we need to talk about our future. Never good. Those words never mean anything good. Okay, I said. What's on your mind? I've been doing a lot of thinking about our finances, about what our life will actually look like. All right, she took a breath. I don't think I can marry a teacher. I just stared at her, like the words didn't compute. What? You're never gonna make enough money. My dad made 6 figures my whole life. I grew up comfortable. I just can't settle for struggling. We're not struggling. Connor, you make $65. That's barely enough for yourself. Forget about a family. People at nearby tables were definitely listening now. She didn't seem to care. I make good money too, but I want more. I want to travel, have a nice house, send our kids to good schools. We can't do that on a teacher's salary. The way she said teacher's salary, like it was something shameful. So what exactly are you saying? I'm saying I can't do this anymore. I thought I could, but I can't. I need someone with real ambition, someone who wants more than just teaching. I felt weirdly calm, like everything was happening in slow motion. I understand your concerns. I said. She blinked. You do? Yeah, financial security matters. You should marry someone who can provide the lifestyle you want. Exactly. I knew you'd understand. She actually looked relieved. We can keep this civil, no drama. I pulled out my phone, opened my Vanguard app. Before we call it, you should probably see something. Turn the screen toward her. Account balance, $891,247.63. Her face went completely blank. What? What is that? My stock portfolio. Been building it since I was 20. Started with $5 my grandpa left me when he died. Put in $500 every month for 12 years, picked solid dividend stocks, let compound interest do its thing. That's almost $1 million. Yep. Got about $60K in a high-yield savings too, another $40 in bonds. Zero debt, paid off my car years ago, own it outright. No student loans because I worked through college. She couldn't speak, just kept staring at my phone. So just to clarify, you're ending our engagement because I'll never make enough money, but you had no idea I'm sitting on basically $1 million in liquid assets? You never told me about this. You never asked. You saw high school teacher and assumed broke. Why wouldn't you tell me you had this much money? Because I wanted to be with someone who loved me for me, not my bank account. Guess I got my answer on that. I put $200 cash on the table. That should cover dinner and tip. I'm gonna head out. Wait, Connor, let's talk about this. Nothing to talk about. You made yourself pretty clear. You can't marry a teacher. I respect that. We're done. But have a good night, Nat. Walked out. My hands were shaking when I got to my car, but my head was crystal clear. Drove home, poured myself some whiskey, and just sat on my couch staring at the wall. 12 years. 12 years of living like a broke college student while I built wealth. Driving my paid-off 2015 Civic while she bought Coach purses. Packing lunch every day while she got Sweetgreen. Skipping the fancy vacations while she did girls' trips to Mexico. And she thought I was poor. Phone started blowing up around 10. Calls, texts. I ignored all of it and went to bed. Update 1. That was like 2 weeks ago. Things have gotten absolutely insane. Natalie showed up at my apartment the next morning. I was dumb enough to open the door. Hey, can we talk? She had coffee from that place I like. Don't think there's much to say. Connor, I was in shock. I reacted badly, but we can work through this. Work through what exactly? You literally told me you can't marry a teacher. I was stressed about money. I took it out on you. That was wrong. And now that you know I have money, suddenly everything's fine? She flinched. That's not what this is. Isn't it? Yesterday I wasn't good enough. Today I am. Only thing that changed is you know my net worth. We've been together for 3 years. That has to mean something. It did, until you told me my career makes me unmarriageable. You're being ridiculous. I'm being honest. You showed me exactly how you feel about who I am. I believe you. So that's it? 3 years gone because of one stupid conversation? One stupid conversation where you ended our engagement. Yeah, she started crying, the messy kind. Please, don't throw us away. I made a mistake. Part of me wanted to cave. 3 years is real. But I kept hearing her voice. I can't settle for struggling. The disgust when she said just teaching. You need to leave. Connor? Please, just go. She finally left. Then her mom called. I was stupid enough to answer. Connor, what is this nonsense about breaking up? It's not nonsense, Diane. Natalie ended things. That's not how she's telling it. She says you're being cruel. Did she mention what we were arguing about? She said you disagreed about finances. She told me she can't marry a teacher because I don't make enough money. Then I showed her my investment portfolio and suddenly she wanted to stay together. Silence. Then, well, teaching isn't exactly a high-paying career, Connor. I have almost $1 million saved and invested. You, what? Yeah, 12 years of disciplined saving and investing. But she didn't know that when she dumped me. $1 million? How is that possible? Compound interest, living below my means, smart investments, pretty straightforward. Another pause. Well, that certainly changes things. Does it? I'm still a teacher. That's not changing. And apparently that's a deal breaker for your daughter. Don't be dramatic. Natalie loves you. Natalie loves financial security. Not the same thing. She's a catch, Connor. Beautiful, successful. Any man would be lucky. Any man who wants to be valued for his bank account, sure. How dare you? Pretty easily, actually. Don't call me again. Hung up, blocked her. Her brother Todd called next. We'd always been cool. Bro, what the hell happened? Your sister gave you her version? She said you guys broke up over money and you're being a jerk. I explained everything. The dinner, what she said, the portfolio, her trying to get back together. Jesus, he said. That's harsh. Yeah, she's always been kinda shallow about money stuff, but damn. Well, now you know. You really have $1 million saved? More or less. Dude, that's incredible. How? Explained my strategy. He was genuinely interested. And Natalie had no clue? None. I don't talk about money. Didn't seem relevant. It's gonna be relevant now. My dad's gonna lose his mind when he finds out. Her dad? Yeah, Richard. He's always kinda looked down on you, you know? The teacher thing. But he's gonna flip when he realizes you've got more saved than he does. He doesn't have $1 million saved? Todd laughed. Dude, my dad's terrible with money. Makes like $200 as some VP but spends every penny. Leased BMW, huge house payment, country club dues. Pretty sure his retirement account has like $50. Maybe. He's almost 60. I didn't know what to say to that. Anyway, heads up, family dinners this weekend. Natalie's definitely going to be crying to everyone. You might want to stay off radar. Wasn't planning to show up anyway. Smart. Hey, for what it's worth, you're better off. She's my sister, and I love her, but she's got some growing up to do. Only decent person in that family. Work got weird fast. I teach at a prep school. Natalie knew some of the parents from her marketing job. Word spreads fast in those circles. One of the moms stopped me after class. Mr. Hayes, I heard about your breakup. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Mrs. Patterson. My daughter adores you. You're her favorite teacher. She wants to study history in college because of your class. That's why I do this job. Moments like that. But then the headmaster called me in. Connor, we need to talk. Never good when the boss starts with those words. Richard Brennan called me. Natalie's father. My stomach dropped. He claims you've been harassing Natalie, that you're unstable and maybe shouldn't be around students. That's complete BS. I haven't contacted her once. She came to my apartment. Her family keeps calling me. I figured, but he's threatening to make noise with the school board. He knows people. So what do? Document everything. Timeline, who contacted who, what was said. I'll keep it on file. If this escalates, we'll need it. Spent that night writing down every interaction since the breakup. Dates, times, who initiated contact, exact words where I could remember them. Saved all the texts and voicemails. Then Natalie texted from a new number. My dad just wants to help. If you apologize, we can move past this. We love each other. Money doesn't matter. Screenshot. Added to my documentation. Replied, money didn't matter until you decided it did. We're done. Stop contacting me. She called immediately. I declined. She called again. Declined. Then the text started. You're being insane. 3 years and you're throwing it away over nothing. I said I was sorry. You know what? You're exactly what I said. A nobody teacher who'll die alone. Screenshot everything. Every single message. She's spiraling. And I'm just documenting. Update 2. It's been about a month. Things got way worse before they got better. Richard somehow got my personal email. Sent me this long message basically saying I'm not good enough for his daughter, but if I want to make changes and pursue a real career, maybe they'll reconsider. Suggested I look into becoming a principal or starting a private tutoring business. I replied, thanks for your concern, but I'm happy with my career and financial situation. Won't be reconsidering the engagement. Best wishes. He wrote back immediately, you're making a huge mistake. Natalie's the best thing that ever happened to you. Didn't respond to that one. Then Natalie started showing up places. My regular coffee shop on Sunday mornings? There she is. Grocery store? There she is. My gym? Suddenly she's a member. After the third coincidence, I called Todd. Your sister's stalking me. Yeah, she's really not handling this well. Can you make her stop? Dude, I've tried. She's convinced you're just being stubborn. Mom's encouraging her too. Great. One night I'm home grading papers when my doorbell rings. Looked through the peephole. Diane and Natalie standing there. Nope. Diane called through the door. Connor, we know you're home. Your car's out front. Let's talk like adults. I started recording on my phone. Walked to the door but didn't open it. You need to leave. We just want to talk. There's nothing to discuss. Natalie's voice. Baby, please, I miss you. We can fix this. We can't. It's over. You can't just throw away 3 years. I didn't throw them away, you did, at that dinner. Remember? Diane again, you're being a child. Natalie made a mistake. She's human. And I'm making a choice. I don't want to marry someone who thinks my job is a failure. Silence. Then Natalie started crying again. I'm calling the police if you don't leave. You wouldn't, Diane said. Held my phone up to the peephole so they could see I was recording. Already am. Want to test me? They left. The school thing blew up though. Richard went to the school board claiming I was unstable and not fit to be around students. Called a whole meeting about it. Dr. Whitmore was furious. He brought all my documentation, showed them the timeline, explained what really happened. The board chair, this no-nonsense woman, shut it down fast. So Mr. Hayes ended a relationship, and now the father of his ex is trying to get him fired with vague accusations? Correct, Dr. Whitmore said. Has anyone besides Mr. Brennan complained about Mr. Hayes? No. I actually have emails from parents praising him. She looked at me. Mr. Hayes, any plans to resume this relationship? Absolutely not. Good. Mr. Brennan is banned from school events. If this continues, we'll pursue legal action. Richard got banned from school property. Should have ended there. But I ran into him at Target. He saw me and made a beeline over. We need to talk. No, we don't. You humiliated my daughter. I ended a relationship. That's not humiliation. You led her on for 3 years, then dumped her over nothing. People were staring. I kept my voice low. She ended it, said she couldn't marry a teacher. Her words. She was worried about money. That's normal. And when she found out I had money, suddenly it was fine. That's called being materialistic. His face went red. How dare you? Your daughter showed me who she is. I'm just accepting it. Started to walk away. He grabbed my arm. We're not done. Pulled my arm back. Touch me again and I'm calling the cops. You arrogant. Target employee appeared. Problem here? No, I said. He was just leaving. Richard left, but I could see him fuming. Finished shopping and went straight to file a police report. The cop was surprisingly sympathetic. Ex's family? Yeah. They always think they can intimidate you back. File for a restraining order if it keeps up. Got a call from some lawyer's office. Woman says she's calling on behalf of Richard Brennan regarding a defamation matter. He's claiming I'm spreading lies about Natalie, calling her a gold digger, damaging her reputation, wants a public apology and $25,000. I actually laughed. Is this a joke? I assure you it's not. Tell Mr. Brennan to go ahead and sue. I'd love to explain to a judge how his daughter dumped me for being poor, then tried to get back together when she found out I'm not. She hung up. Called a lawyer friend who gave me a referral to someone who handles this stuff. The attorney laughed when I explained. They're bluffing. Classic intimidation. But keep documenting everything, just in case. So I've got a file now. Every text, every call, every encounter, the police report, the school board minutes, everything. Natalie sent another message. I can't believe you're doing this. We could have had a life together. You made your choice. Live with it. You'll regret this when you're old and alone. Didn't respond, but I thought I'd rather be alone than with someone who only values me for my bank account. Final update. It's been about 2 months total now. Things finally calmed down, but not before one last incident. I'm teaching my afternoon class, juniors, American history, when there's a knock. I open the door and Natalie's standing there with flowers, in front of 30 students. Nat, what are you doing here? I needed to see you. She'd clearly been crying. I'm in the middle of class. I know, but please, can we just talk? My students are dead silent, watching this unfold. You need to leave. Connor, I was wrong. I was scared and stupid. But I love you. I've always loved you. One of my students, this kid Jeremy, who's always got something to say, goes, Yo, isn't this the girl who dumped him for being broke? Another student, Jeremy, shut up. What? Mr. Hayes uses his investing as examples all the time, said his ex didn't appreciate financial discipline. Oh no, I definitely should not have shared that story during our economics unit. Natalie looked mortified. You told your students? I used it as an anonymous example, didn't name names. They clearly know it was me. That's not my problem. You need to leave before security comes. The hall monitor appeared. Miss, you need to check in at the office. I just need 1 minute. Office, or I'm calling security. Natalie finally left. I closed the door and 30 pairs of eyes were on me. So, the new deal, where were we? One girl raised her hand. Mr. Hayes, you're way better off without her. Thanks, Ashley. Now about FDR's first 100 days. Dr. Whitmore called me after school. Your ex was here? Yeah. Not sure how she got past the front desk. She's officially trespassed now. She comes back, she gets arrested. That night, Todd called. I'm so sorry about today. How'd you even know? Mom told me. She drove Natalie there, thought it would be romantic. It was humiliating for her. I know. I told them it was insane, but they don't listen to me. Is she okay? Honestly? No. She's a mess. Hasn't gone to work in over a week, just sits around crying and stalking your social media. I haven't posted anything. I know. That's making it worse somehow. I felt bad for like 2 seconds. Then I remembered, nobody teacher who'll die alone. Tell your family to leave me alone or I'm getting a restraining order. I already did. I think they're finally getting it. He paused. Can I ask you something? Sure. How'd you actually save that much? Like the details. I make decent money, but I've only got like $10 saved and I'm almost 30. So I explained my whole strategy. Index funds, dividend aristocrats, automatic investing, living below my means. The power of starting early. He was taking actual notes. I've wasted so much money, he said after. You're young enough to fix it. Start now. Your future self will thank you. Thanks, man, and seriously, sorry about my family. Not your fault, Todd. Only normal person in that whole crew. Something interesting happened yesterday, though. I'm at my coffee shop when a woman sits down across from me. Connor Hayes? Yeah? I'm Lisa. I work with Natalie. Can I talk to you real quick? Oh, great. If this is about getting back together. God, no. Opposite, actually. That got my attention. I wanted to warn you. Natalie's been telling people at work that you were financially abusive, that you controlled all the money and kept her dependent. What? That's insane. We had completely separate finances. I know, that's why I'm here. Some of us know the real story, but she's spinning this whole narrative for people who don't. Why are you telling me? Because I went through something similar with my ex. He spread lies after I dumped him and it almost cost me my job. Didn't want that happening to you. She handed me her business card. If you ever need someone to verify what actually happened, call me. I've got texts from Natalie from right after the breakup. She was bragging about your money and saying she messed up. She bragged about it? Oh yeah, to everyone. He's secretly rich. I had no idea. I screwed up so bad. Then when people didn't sympathize, she flipped the script. I took her card. Thank you. Seriously. No problem. You dodged a bullet with her. She's exhausting. Texted my lawyer about the financial abuse claims. She said document it, but unless Natalie makes an official complaint somewhere, just ignore it. People talk. Can't stop that. But you've got bank records showing separate accounts if you ever need proof. So that's where things are now. Natalie's apparently having a breakdown, making up stories, burning bridges left and right. Richard's furious his intimidation didn't work. Diane's still defending her baby no matter what. And me? I'm just living my life. Teaching my classes, adding to my investments, enjoying the peace and quiet. My personal finance unit has gotten really popular though. Kids asking tons of questions about investing, compound interest, financial independence, teaching them the stuff I wish someone had taught me at 17. One student asked, Mr. Hayes, do you regret ending your engagement? I thought about it for a minute. No, I regret not seeing who she really was sooner. But ending it? Best decision I could have made. The class laughed, but I meant every word, because I could have married her. Could have spent my life with someone who measured my worth by my salary, who only saw value in me once she knew my net worth, who looked down on my career right up until she realized it came with money. Instead, I'm single, financially secure, and teaching kids that your worth isn't your wallet. Natalie's blocked everywhere. Her family too, changed my lock since Diane had a spare key, got a new number that only close friends have. Life's quiet now, peaceful. And my portfolio hit $912K last week. Market's been good to me. Turns out being just a teacher isn't so bad after all.